Shalom, and to start off souls by giving all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, B'Shem, Kadash, double honors to the apostle, great Most, and honors to you brothers doing the work of the Most High in truth and in sincerity. Yahweh's real name, of whom the world ignorantly calls God, Jehovah or Yahweh. His real name is Yahweh. The Son's true name is Yahweh Shai, and when we pray Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, but meaning in, meaning Dan Sham, meaning names Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai. Real quick, this is a quick testimony, man. This is, and this thing of ours, it is keen for us to always remember that it's all in the Lord's time. We may want something now, we may, ask for something or whatever, but ultimately, as we all know, it's all of the Lord. In my particular situation, I've been looking to change jobs for quite a while, maybe a year or two. And nothing was really working out. And then, then this is it as well. It's like, there's certain people in this world, that the Lord uses to kind of help guide you in certain directions, right? And then, long story short, Lord allowed me to, get something new, get something new basically, right? And come to find out now, I'm speaking to certain of the people that I knew at the old job that now they're the old job is making cuts, and this is a company that's that I used to work for. This is a company that's always been financially good, for the longest time has just been good, started teetering off, right? But never was the statement of redundancies and stuff like that. It was never really something that was really ever spoken about. Right, it wasn't something that people were never really worried about their jobs and this, that, and the other. Okay, but then, like I said, now that finally the Lord allowed me to get a new role, okay, because that's ultimately it. We may want to do something, right? We may think in our minds that it is the right thing for us in that particular moment, right? But ultimately, in one of the precepts we're gonna get, I haven't got a few, unless the Spirit gives me some more. So I've only got a few, unless the Spirit gives me some more. Okay, but the long of it is if the Lord ain't with it, it ain't gonna happen. Okay, and if the Lord ain't with it now, it ain't gonna happen. Right, but that doesn't mean the Lord is ain't with it in general. Okay, some things are just in their set times. Scriptures in Ecclesiastes 3 says to everything there's a time and a season. Okay. Is even like we might be going through some kind of hell or whatever, and we just want that hell to be over, or whatever it is. Okay, but the Lord knows what's good for us. Okay, so like I said, when that happened, I was really thinking and meditating, and I was like, wow, that's amazing, man. Like once again, Akim, here, they in the group chat, I had to send us, be like, yo, man, this is amazing. Okay, once again, just showing the power of the Lord, right? But and it's these things that are boosters for our faith. Okay, one of the things that I think of, is like, for instance, in the case of prayer, and also in the case of Scripture says this. Always get it mixed up. Is it 15:4? Right, Romans 15:4 as an example. Right, for whatsoever things are written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the Scriptures might have hope. Okay, one of the things that I've always kind of thought about in reference to this precept is, yes, we've got the examples written in the Scriptures. Right, it's very important, but through prayer, right, and through our own and then from that prayer, living through our own experiences, right, what that does is it builds us up to have our own cases. Okay, so yes, it's we can read and believe on what happened to Daniel, to Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Okay, all of the different stories of miraculous delivery. Okay, but when we've also got our own examples, right, these are the things that are going to be keeping us strong and firm in the times that we're to come, right? We add those things together, okay, so that we have a reference, because Satan's gonna be, Satan's gonna be around in these last days. So to have these little experiences, to be like, you know what, actually, I was in this situation, okay, and then the Lord, allowed it such that the needle moved, okay, or not the needle does. I don't know what I was thinking about works alike, yeah. Right, but basically, the Lord allowed it that I was able to move from one A to B, or that I was able to get whatever it is. Okay, when we have our own references, that helps build up our faith. Okay, because that's certainly something that we're going to need in these last days, because as the scripture says, as the days that we're coming up to, the days of evil, right? You read Daniel 12 and 1, right? Jeremiah the 30 and 6 and 7, right? It speaks about a time of Jacob's trouble. It speaks about a time like never before. Right? So all of these little instances we can't, wink at, we can't take them lightly, right? We must need to meditate on them, right? And and exhort one another. Exhort one another that the Lord will make a way, right? It will be in His time, but He'll make a way, right? And sometimes the way is to continue down the path that you're on. You got the account with Paul, right, where he's basically talking about the thorn that he had in his side, but the Lord was like, nah. Right, it says 2 Corinthians 12 and 7, it says, and lest I should be exalted above measure through the abundance of the revelation that was given to me, a thorn in the flesh, the messenger of Satan to buffet me, lest I should be exalted above measure. For this thing I besought the Lord thrice, that it might depart from me. And He said unto me, my grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. Most gladly, therefore, will I rather glory in my infirmities, that the power of Mashiach may rest upon me. And that once again is that feeling of when we're going through things, just understand that we're going through them because ultimately, two things. One, we read Micah 7, right? So let's grab that real quick and let me grab, because it's on the tip of my tongue and I'm about to lose it. I think it's phrased like that. I'll look for it. Otherwise, if not, okay. Mike said we're gonna get Micah, right? This is Micah 7 and 9. It says, I'll bear the indignation of Yahweh because I've sinned against Him, until He plead my cause and execute judgment for me. He will bring me forth to the light, and I shall behold His righteousness. Right. So understanding that we go through these things because of because of our own iniquity, right? It makes us a lot more being like, whoa, I deserve this. Okay, I'm just trying to remember how it's phrased. It's tempting. It's going to give me loads of results. So let me just look. This is 1 Corinthians 10:13. There hath no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. Right, but the Most High is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it. So also that thing of, I'm going through this right now. However, right, let me put this away, it's maybe distracting. Right. However, like these it's that thing of, I'm going through this right now. However, the Lord thinks I can manage through it. Okay, and when ultimately we come out of a particular situation, right, it's ultimately to the Lord's tune. It says Proverbs 20 and 24, man's goings of the Lord, how can a man understand his own way? So we may want to do X, we may want to do Y, but ultimately we're at the mercy of the Lord's plan. Okay, because we can't get nothing, we can't do nothing, right, except the Lord gives the okay. Right, and there's a whole load of different, and even in certain instances, the Lord will show like, hey, I did this. Okay, this is John 3:27. It says, John answered and said, a man can receive nothing except to be given him from heaven. Okay, So whatever situation that we're trying to get out of or get into, right, whatever it is, the Most High is the one that has to, give that, that okay sign. If any brothers have ever worked corporate, right, and you let's say you need to buy a new laptop. Okay, you have to give it to your manager, and the manager has to go there, and then you get the okay, and eventually you can get a laptop. But it has to go through a process, right? You can't just go and do what it is that you want to do, right? Really, it's the Most High, not really, but it's the Most High that is the one that is, giving the okay, giving the sanction for something to happen. Okay, hopefully that analogy made sense. Right, it says Matthew 6:33, but seek ye first the kingdom of the Most High and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. So just keeping focused, right? Keeping focused, and just we just need to keep focused, and whatever it is that is necessary. What scriptures talk about the daily bread, right? Whatever is necessary for our life, for our walk. Okay, the Lord will deliver it in such and such a time as is necessary for us. Once again, for us in our walk, in our individual walks. Okay. So as always, Lord, all that was edifying. Till next time we say, Shalom.